welcome. I know it's not a day of sadness, but I can't think of representing my Walton siblings up here this morning and thinking of Earl without wondering if I can get through this without crying. But it is a day of celebration of your lovely brother and about this town. And if we start small, I think of, so there's this little town, Schuyler, that has grown in the minds and hearts of the people who lived here, the people who the Waltons is about, the Hamner family, and then it grows to this whole community and this town, and then to this state. And then as Earl grew, and he left, and he moved east and then west, it became about taking that family in this town to America. And his values and his dreams and his loves and his love of this community and this country, he brought to the world. And we have so many people who love him and who have grown to love what he stood for and love this town and what it represented to the world. And it just expanded. And I think when I think of Earl and I think of being here and how it all started here, and then it has affected and touched the whole world. And I think we saw that yesterday with the many, many groups of people that were here. And there's such a sense of pride for Schuyler and for this museum, and must be for you, Audrey, and your whole family. And looking at the legacy that Earl has created in the world. It seems like it's small, and we can call it a small town, but it's actually huge. You know, it is the mustard seed. And I'm here to talk on behalf of all of us about how Earl touched our lives. And gosh, where can we even start with that? Earl impacted the world in such a way, so you can imagine how in choosing us, and specifically me, because I looked like Audrey, how he changed our lives. And I know you can feel in your hearts how he changed your lives. And imagine for us as the cast, it just, and I always say it molded who I am as a person. I mean, there's just no way. I was 10, and to be lifted out of my McDonough family and to be deposited in with this family, who is really, truly my family. And I saw them more than I did my own family, and I think most of us kind of left our real life families, or we created our own families. I mean, John was an only child, and suddenly he had like 6 siblings. You know, Judy didn't have any brothers. Oh no, you have 1 brother, and then you know. So and I think it just completely, you know, changed our lives. And for him, Earl always said, "Oh, Mary Beth, it's your Uncle Earl," and he really was more like our father. He created us all, and I know that he loved how he changed and grew. When I wrote my book, I was very nervous and I wanted him to write the foreword. And so I called him and I said, "So, I would love for you to write the foreword of my book." And he said, "Well, I'm not going to do it if I don't like it." And I thought, oh, there's no pressure there. So he said, "Well, send it to me, and if I like it, I'll write the foreword." So I sent it to him, and I was very, very blessed that he actually did like it. And he gave me some great writing tips. And I think as a writer, I mean, I write similar stories now because of how the Waltons impacted my life. And I think all of us have gone forward in our journey in life because of the values and the lessons that we learned on the show. And as kids growing up, we were the Waltons and we were ourselves, but we had the same experiences, which is like talking last night about how every week somebody new would come into town, somebody different than us, somebody that might have scared us. And every week we learned through compassion and education and loyalty and faith how to look at all of those different people, whether it was the circus people, or those escaping Nazi Germany, or the chicken thief, and the new creature, whoever those people were, and they were often very different from us. But we learned to love them because we opened our hearts to them and tried to see who they were instead of judging them and saying, no, you're different. And we learned lessons along the way, and I think that's one of the things that we all love so much about the show, and it taught us. So Earl changed our lives so completely, and he taught us how to be in a lot of ways. And I know for me, I just can never be more grateful for all of those lessons. And I feel so blessed to be able to stand up here and represent my family and to embrace all of you as my family as well. And how you have embraced us is carrying on Earl's legacy and love and the wisdom that he had and shared about this place to create this place. So thank you.